Hello, everyone. Welcome to Real Dad Speak, a show where real dads share their stories about being present in their child's lives with the goal of raising responsible adults. I am your host, Sarah McClure, and my guest today is Jason Baker. I met Jason through his grandmother, Mrs. Helen Adams. She's a very wise and spiritual woman who is always the voice of reason. May God rest her soul. She and I worked together on community projects for several years, and she treated me like a daughter. Included me in many of her family events, and at one of those events is where I met Jason. He was a basketball player, and we were celebrating his high school graduation. That was several years ago. Today, Jason is a professional NCAA referee and dad. Today, I'm going to talk to him about going from basketball player, teaching basketball in Asia, coming back to the United States, and becoming a husband, dad, coach, and NCAA referee. Welcome, Jay. Thank you for coming
I appreciate
on the
the
show.
introduction.
All right. I like to start off with just basic background information. So, in what city did you grow up?
Grew up in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay. And what school did you go to, or what school did you go to?
So started off at Plymouth with the preschool down there at Plymouth off of Warren, and then
Okay.
transitioned to Fleming over on the east side between 6 and 7 miles. So I was at Fleming from first to fourth grade. Yeah, so yeah, kindergarten, first through fourth. And then fifth grade went to Woodward Academy when they first opened up downtown.
Yeah.
And then yeah, you said rest the soul, but went to Cindy D. Miller for middle school. Yeah, I was a part of that Black Bottom for middle school
Wow.
at Miller from sixth to eighth grade. And then from there, I went to King for my first 2 years, my freshman sophomore year, and then end up transferring out to Anchor Bay out there in Macomb County. Yeah, I was one of the first classes to go across 8 Mile and get some melanin out there. And now you see a lot of kids out there in the Dakotas, Chippewas. I was part of that class that was kind of like that first wave to kind of open up their doors as far as athletics. Because we was just so demanding in the city, and kind of it was kind of getting too big for the city, so we started expanding out. So yeah, graduated Anchor Bay in 2005.
Okay.
Um,
All
and
right.
then from there, college scholarship to Alabama A&M. So I went HBCU, then transferred to University of Tampa, went to private university, and then finished up at North Carolina Greensboro.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
college.
So, do you have any siblings?
Yeah, so I have one older sister. She's 14 years older than me. She was a prolific swimmer back in the city back in her day. So yeah, I got one older sister.
Okay. Are you guys close?
Extremely, very tight oriented. Just talked to her literally probably this morning.
Okay. All right. What did your parents do for a living?
So my pops was he worked in the city a little bit, but he was one of the local stars as far as musicians. He played the bass guitar. Yeah, he was real basically on the I say the cuspice of the Motown swing of things, like all the Motown players that was still around before they had went out to California. So he's kind of around that cloth of like still playing in the casinos and the clubs and stuff like that. So he was a bass player, and then he did some work for the city. And then my mom, she was a cashier for DOT my whole existence. Now she had some life prior before me, but my whole existence, DOT was what keeping the lights on for us.
Okay.
Cashier for DOT.
All right. What kind of activities did you guys do as a family? You, your mom, dad, and your sister.
Um, so mainly just the regular, sports activities. Um, like you were saying, my grandma Helen Jean, very involved much in the campaigns, in the community building. Yeah, mainly just sports and community to kind of sum it up to give a synopsis. Yeah, just mainly the sports and community was everything. I was like one of the youngest black belts in the U.S. I got my black belt when I was 8 years old, 7 year old, just turning 8 in the Taekwondo. So I competed as well in that realm. And then, like I said, PAL sports. That's what kind of, was my grain as far as like just keeping that competitive edge and staying out of trouble.
So, what did you want to be when you were growing up?
Initially, it actually started off as a sports agent.
Really?
Yeah, initially it was a sports agent. Always kind of had a knack for reading. I'm a real big avid reader. And then just the aspect of my love of sports. And I was always kind of looking at things as far as like, who's doing the representation for us, while we're embodying and, we're overthrust when it comes to sports. Like, I mean, it's kind of a landslide as far as with basketball and football mainly. I know baseball just kind of let up over the past 20, 30 years as far as American born, but basketball and football was just kind of like something I felt we needed some representation. And then again, me being in the community and things that sort, always kind of looked to kind of be that person that represented them in that way. But yeah, I was in the streets too much, so yeah, that sports stuff wasn't gonna wasn't gonna pan out too well.
Okay. So, who introduced you to basketball, and at what age were you?
They talk about it all the time, but yeah, my pops, yeah, he didn't want to actually put the ball in the basket. I mean, in my crib. Yeah, he put the basketball in my crib. Yeah, even though he was a straight musician, he didn't play no sports. Like I said, Mom Dukes didn't play no sports, but yeah, he was the one that kind of put the ball in the crib, and yeah, I guess I never kind of let it go. And then had the play school rim, so you put the water in and stuff like that. And I remember in the backyard, I think I was like 3 or 4 years old. My shooting was getting good, and pops kept, hiring up the goal, but he wasn't putting that much water in there. So when the goal get higher, you need to add some more water. I remember I had made it at like 8 feet or something like that. I turned around to celebrate, and the goal was on top of my head. And yeah, that kind of was the hit. So yeah, basketball always been the top of my head from then.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Did
that's kind of how it started.
Did you play other sports?
Yeah, so I lettered in 5 sports in high school. So I did basketball, football, tennis, track, and swim.
Whoa. Whoa. So the whole year round, you didn't have any downtime whatsoever.
No, not really. Just kind of got to it. Like I said, my sister, she was a Olympic qualifier swimmer. She was an all-stater at Osborne, and she received some scholarship offers to swim. So kind of picked up that bug. Tennis was just athleticism. Just kind of went hand in hand. Track, football coaches always want you running track.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, tennis and swim was just kind of like my extracurriculars that I kind of did and was good at. But yeah, basketball, football, and track, yeah, that's something that kind of came natural.
Now, did your mom play sports?
No, no, like they don't know where the sports bug kind of played in too. I mean, I have like cousins and things of that
Right.
sort. It was athletic and things of that sort, but from the my people that created me,
The
no,
immediate.
not a sports bone in their bodies. Literally, not a
But your
sports bone.
dad watched, right? Or your mom watched sports, or no?
No, no. Not
Wow.
at all. Yeah, I mean they was definitely one screaming in the stands for sure, but no.
Okay. All right. So, do you think that introducing kids to sports at an early age is beneficial then?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's just one of those things where as parents you gotta do what you can to keep the lights on, and that extracurricular activity is something that sometimes you're not warranted of giving your children, so that sports is a great supplement as far as like just them having some organized activity, and then also helping build some character and some camaraderie, while you're trying to provide for them.
All right. So, you graduated from high school, you went to college, and when did you get your first job?
um, I I was a kind of a picker, so I actually went professional. I actually signed to go overseas after coming out of college. Well, actually, I left college. Well, it wasn't that I left early, but they didn't have graduation in December. So I actually finished up in December 2010. But actually, I did a quick little stint over in Europe where I played professionally. And then I came back to graduate to walk in May. So yeah, I went straight after I finished up college. Yeah, I went straight overseas to play over in Switzerland, and then came back um, to graduate in May. And I actually picked up like a little healthcare position, just something to also keep some money flowing in and things to that such.
Yeah. So your current position, you're a coach and you're an NCAA referee. Can you describe what you do? Tell us about your current jobs.
So and this is just very current. Just started coaching and got picked up here in Texas about probably literally about a month and a half ago. Not even a full 2 months.
Okay.
So I'm one of the assistant head coaches for our varsity team here in Texas, and I already kind of had the refereeing tagged already into me. I've been refereeing college basketball now. This will actually be going on like my seventh season. Yeah, this will be my seventh
Wow.
season. So already kind of ingrained on that end. It was just kind of going into the coaching. And really, the coaching thing was kind of like something I forecasted after I got done refereeing. But
Oh,
yeah, I had too many people kind of reaching out to me just with my contacts, my background. They was just kind of pulling me in the direction saying, yeah, man, we need you to coach. We need you to coach. So this is kind of like the full-time position. So I'm actually a physical education teacher. So I'm a PE teacher and then also a coach. So that's what you have to do here in Texas. You actually have to teach um, as you also coach. Different states have different things where you can work like a regular job and then just come afterwards. But in Texas, yeah, you have to actually teach a class. And PE, yeah, that's the perfect place for me right now because
okay.
yeah, I have too much of the truth to tell. I can't be in these classrooms right now. So PE is the best place for me.
Keep keep the physical aspect of it and keep in shape and all that good stuff. Stuff you know
Yeah,
about, huh?
right, exactly.
Okay. Okay. So, um, let me see. Okay. So after you got yourself settled, you got this nice job now. Did you think about getting married?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Okay.
it's actually my second go around. So always makes you make your next your best type thing.
All right. So when you got married, did you think about having children too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Always been family oriented and just kind of from my grain, my roots. And I
Okay.
feel that's kind of like the full circle of life, if possible, to
Right.
be born and then watch something of yours be born. It's kind of like the circle of life in my eyes.
Okay. So how many children do you have?
Oh man, whew. Now we
It's so
got
silly.
we got yeah, my 7-year-old daughter, my 2-year-old son, and then we'll be having a surprise. We just waiting since we already got boy and a girl. We'll be waiting to see what this next one to be here in about 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. You're not gonna be nosy, huh?
Nah, we'll just say let it be a surprise and kind of play it off that, builds a little
Okay.
excitement. Also, a little curiosity as well.
All right. So after this one, do you want to have another? Or you
Honestly, me, I do. But the pain and our melanin woman, having to go through so much in America. I mean, it's actually a compromise. But I mean, I can always say, yeah, I always do want more children. But I mean, I understand, like I said, just the going through process of a woman has to go through, and the totality it takes on the body and mind, given
right.
in this kind of environment here in America. But I mean, three is great. I mean, I'm appreciative,
Okay.
for what I have, but yeah, I always want more children.
All right. So how'd you meet your wife?
Um, Known her for actually a little minute. She was a HBCU cheerleader. She cheered for FAMU.
Okay.
So when I was playing at University of Tampa, that's kind of where we kind of bumped into each other on that end. Um, Life kind of went through. I had my first divorce that happened, and um, she was dating someone as well, just in different spaces. So actually, we just kind of picked up things like later on in life, actually after COVID, where I basically was just kind of checking in back on her after I was transitioning back into the States. It was literally just a check in. And I had told her to come to one of the events that I had when I was coming back in the States. And she came through. And I tell her right now, if she didn't come through to that event, we wouldn't be together right now.
Oh, okay.
So
All
yeah,
right.
right time, right place. But yeah, knowing her back in college, and then like after this life and both our situations and stuff like that, was able to come together after COVID had passed.
All right. And you, after what, after a year or two, you like, yeah, we can get married.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, something she
All right.
definitely was looking forward to.
All right. So you say you got a 7-year old. You guys have a 7-year old. So after the 2-year old, do you call is it Zion or you say just
Yeah,
Zion?
yeah, just Zion. So Daddy
Or,
got a common name. My name Jason, and then his
yeah.
name is just Zion. So yeah, just kind of put something together on his end, so he has something that's geared towards him.
Okay. So when he was born, how did your daughter respond to being a big sister? How was that?
Oh man, so with her, she was used to, like I said, being on her own because she's 5 years older than he is. So it was definitely some jealousy tendencies, but yeah, kids are not too much aware of what's going on or how to react, from emotional aspect. But she was definitely a big help though. Like she went into big sister mode, and I mean, she always follows after her mom. So just from that motherly and sisterly approach, she definitely was well received. And like I said, she has her jealousy tendencies. I call it unconsciously, but yeah,
Right.
she definitely was a big help for sure.
Okay. So
Now
did
the
you have to
transition,
like talk to her and say, listen, this is your little brother, we
absolutely,
don't love you any less,
right,
we just
yeah,
need you
the
to
old
help
school,
out. Okay.
yeah,
And
you know.
once you talked to her, she got, she was on board, right?
Yeah, she just saying it was kind of more of a team setting kind of thing, and where she kind of play in at. But yeah, she definitely understood that it's no more just her anymore. That's
Right.
out the window, and then it's gonna be even stretched even more. Come this December.
Yeah. So you guys are uh, really ready for the change, as far as like, did you like prep her before, she sit down and rub her mom's stomach and say, your little brother's in here, stuff like
Oh
that?
yeah, absolutely. She was very advanced and aware. Because her name is Kobe too, and then son Jay Z. I don't know how that worked out, but yeah, got a daughter named Kobe, son named Jay Z.
Okay.
Um, so they already know anyway, just from their name and stuff like that. Just in our community. I mean, you're gonna have to be aware and responsive at all times, literally, just because namesake, even though they have there's certain ways of spelling it and different things towards their name. But yeah, she was definitely on board though after she seen that mommy and daddy is with her, and you still get gifts, you still get love, we still do things for you too. So yeah, she's been falling right to suit.
All right. So, did you believe that raising your daughter had adequately prepared you for raising your next child? Did you think you was all set now? You was good.
So with kids, with me, especially in the family, like all the little youngins were always kind of very attractive to me. They say I got the old soul, new soul, all soul type kind of love. So um, I just kind of just very endearing and infinite when it comes to just preserving, protecting, and sharing my time, especially for those who depend on us. Because I mean, I have a total understanding that they're dependent all the way. They're old enough to guard their own heart. So when someone is dependent, my job is to try to present and protect to the best of my ability. So yeah, everything always stayed in line on that end. And that just comes from, like I said, my upbringing and also the spirit that's in me.
All right. So, when you were growing up, did you have chores to complete as a child?
Absolutely.
Okay.
No question mark. Making my bed. When I received my black belt, like I said, I was the youngest at 8 years old. Instead of congratulating me and talking about my skill set and noticing the grand of just that of an 8-year old being able to follow and be that disciplined and teaching grown ups how to do karate and taekwondo. First thing you said, "Hey, do you do your chores?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." So yeah, washing dishes,
Okay.
making my bedroom, taking out the trash, um, eating, not eating by a certain time, all of those above. Yeah, it was definitely some procedural outlines and participatory, we'll say participatory events taking place in order for me to stay in line.
All right. So, does your daughter at 7 years old, was she doing chores at 5, or she just started doing her chores? Do you give her chores to do?
Yeah, she got a few things. She's actually a great cleanup. She's a great cleanup. When you say cleanup, no matter what room it is, she kind of get to it. Not a powder or anything like that. I mean, she's
Oh,
actually an
good.
angel. Yeah, she gets to it. Yeah, not too
Okay.
much of a back talk or smacking. That's just right now at 5 to 7. I mean, this generation different. So we'll see how long that can hold weight by the time she's 10, 12. But yeah, no, she definitely helps out where she can. She in the kitchen with mom, helping her cook. She helps make breakfast and things of that sort. Yeah, helping with rack that with Jay Z when his diapers need to be changed. She always come and grab and throw stuff away. Yeah, she's very intuitive and um, very advanced as far as like just wanting to help and be a part of things of that sort.
Okay. So when you were little, did you get disciplined? Did you ever have to be disciplined?
Absolutely. I remember still to this day we laugh about it because my son he actually is a resemblance of me, of course. Yeah, when I was 2 years old, I was climbing in the windows, hand fingerprints all on the windows. And my mama literally took a picture, and then yeah, I got spanked afterwards. It was a great. It was funny that I was up there. It was real funny, but yeah, caught
Uh,
those spankings. Yeah, caught those spankings for sure. That was just the discipline, things that they learned and kind of went through. But yeah,
Now,
definitely got those for sure.
so if you had to discipline your children, what method would you use? Because I know today with the kids, they have a phone or
Yeah,
two or Xboxes, and the parents just take the phone or the Xbox away. So if you ever had to discipline your kids, what method would you use?
with me, they already know. It's calisthenics. Yeah, we in calisthenics. We get the whole. Hey, like I said, I want my kids to be the smart and strong. But if it's
Okay.
either or, I'm okay with that. So if you're not being smart, then you're gonna be strong.
All right.
we
Okay.
gonna get something out of it. So yeah, it'd be like calisthenics, whether it's sit ups, squats, um, toe raises, and things of that sort. Like you're just building. I mean, I always kind of look at things as just you're going to be building. Whether you consider it punishment or whether you consider it reward, it's always just something to build on. So you know, how are you learning your lessons and how are you getting stronger or getting smarter at the end of the day? So yeah, I'm not a big whooper or anything like that. Just a
Right.
few pops, a flick on your shoulder, or flick your ear a little bit or something like that. But yeah, nothing to the extreme of what we used to what we used to come through. Even though
Okay.
it seems like it needs to be that way sometimes. But I mean, you
Something.
just use other methods.
So, what sports will you introduce your children to?
Right now, of course, everybody looking at the basketball aspect because I'm one of the few people that I played it at a professional level. Like I didn't make it into the NBA, but I played overseas, played in the D League for a time, played college. But kind of whatever they kind of fall into, I don't have anything specifically. Like right
Okay.
now, they see basketball as kind of what feeds the family kind of thing, and see where that's most of my time goes. So they're very interactive. Like they just came to our first opening game here, which was Friday. Yeah, the whole crew they was in the house, and yeah, they had a grand time. Got to see all the work I've been putting in since
Okay.
we were away for so long, being coaches and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't have no specific way I'll be pushing them. It's just kind of like once I see which direction they want to go in, because I'll actually kind of introduce them to everything. That's kind of my main thing. And then I just let them know, like, hey, I got the the tools to get you over the top, whatever you want to go. But I want this to be on your time because I don't want to be, pressing myself upon them or anything like that. Like I'm not that parent that kind of lives through the child. I've done what I've done, so I'm able to live with that. And whatever way they want to go, I mean, I just literally got the ingredients if they're serious about it. So it's kind of up to them.
All right. So, when the time comes, will you make sure that someone attends the kids' games? If you or your wife aren't able to, will you try to get the grandparents or a neighbor or somebody to make sure they have a cheering section when they're playing?
Um, so our dynamics is a little different. My wife's mother, grandmother, basically is she's about 90. So yeah, if she's around when they're to the high school age, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of newspaper reporters around here covering her.
Yeah.
uh, and then my pops, he lives with us as well. He's about 70, so um, yeah, we're really kind of the holding grace, which is I think is kind of the new thing for our generations, 80s babies and late 70s, is that we actually in places where we're away from the family. It's not too much of a community, so it's more like friends that may be able to attend our children's events, or like I said, it just all be on us because we're so spread out and things that sort. Like our community is not as heavy and abundant as it used to be, especially how we're spread out and stuff like that. But it'll be some support. We just don't know. Fraternity brothers, her sorority sisters. I mean, hey, it'd be some kind of support for sure.
That's good. That's good. So, does your extended family have traditions or special holidays that you and your wife have adopted while you're there? Like, did you always make sure you have a big turkey on Thanksgiving? Uh, do you go? Do you invite friends over? Do you have anything try to
So with
traditional try to
yeah,
do?
with us just getting here, because we just relocated here too. We was up in Georgia. We was staying in Georgia, and then like I said, we just relocated here to Texas. Literally, we got here basically like August 1st. So yeah, we're actually just kind of um, just moving on our own terms at this point. Just kind of going with. Then like I said, with her being pregnant, and things that such. No, that tradition is out the window. We just together.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we're together,
Okay.
and Mom Duke, she flies in, and like I said, Pops lives with us.
Okay.
And we have like various families that'll jump in and stuff like that. Like my aunt Tony, she'll be around here in shortly too. So yeah, everybody just sprinkle in when they can, type thing.
All right. So, who do you think you're more like, your mom or your dad?
It's split right down the middle. I got the literally the best of both worlds. Yeah,
Okay.
mom was the brains, Pops was the streets. So I'm directly down the middle.
All right. So, did your dad influence you to be the father that you are, the dad that you are?
Yeah, definitely. He played a advocate role. Yeah, he wasn't there like every day. Yeah, me and my mom, they weren't together the whole time. My existence stuff like that. Yeah, they were separated when I was about like 4. Yeah, about 3 or 4 years old. They were separated, but yeah, he was definitely one of those fathers though that communicated very well, and I was able to see him. Whenever he was in town, spending weekends with them. Yeah, whenever he wasn't, making money, because like I said, he's an entertainer, musician. Money days are Saturday, Friday nights. In those times,
Right.
I have games and stuff like that. Friday night footballs and Friday stuff. So he wasn't really around for all those aspects, but he was always there as far as like verbally. Like I can always reach out to him and then kind of catch him while I can, type thing. So from that aspect, that kind of at least laid a foundation knowing that I had someone to speak to, kind of understand the grind and the things that I'm going through as a young man. And then also we just kind of leaned on each other, having that parallel relationship of him being a musician and me being an athlete. So, both kind of detail, putting in the work when no one's not seeing you. And then
Right.
also, like he say, just take it to the stage. So, all my games and stuff like that, he used to always say, just take it to the stage. So that kind of aspect of just familiarity, and then him being a musician and me being an athlete kind of went hand in hand. So that was definitely something. And then my mom, that was just hard work. Like never complained, just kind of got to it. Low maintenance and available. Like that's something that I learned being an overseas basketball player. It's like things happen, you set up relationships by not asking for everything, but always being to be there for everything. And that's kind of how my mom was. She never asked for much, but she was always there when it needed to be.
Okay. Wow.
So that
So
plays
what
into
type?
my parenting.
I'm sorry.
So that plays directly into my parenting. Yeah, I'm not the show me what you got kind of thing. I'm here for you, support you, and then yeah, do what you got to do and do it well.
Okay. All right. So what type of activities do your kids like to do when your mom comes into town or when they're hanging out with your dad?
Yeah, they still at that age where they just run around and ask questions all day. They question you all the way down. So uh, yeah, my son, his nickname is Rack Daddy. I gave him that nickname because yeah, when he was throwing stuff out of his crib, like he'd rack things up, like he'd just throw it out and it just pile up on top of each other. So yeah, that's Rack Daddy. So he's physical as well. So that kind of plays into a lot of things too. So people will think about like weights or stuff like that. But yeah, that's Rack Daddy. So he likes to just run around, throw things, and bull in the china shop. And then Cody, she's actually like our little artist. She likes to draw. She just wants you to see her art, and she likes to build things. So Legos, drawing, Toka Boca. She be playing a lot. Yeah, anything to have anything to do with some kind of like technology, building, like she kind of falls into that. And then my wife, she actually got her degree in architect. She's not in that field, but she actually got her degree in architect in FAMU. So it's kind of like one of those aha moments to her, just seeing our daughter at a young age kind of, draw into wanting to build things. And yeah, that's something she never even thought about.
Oh, wow. So, do you have a favorite story about when you were growing up that you would tell your daughter sometimes?
Um, it just had to come to mind. I mean, I've seen a lot of things. I always say, even when I do like speaking engagement, one thing I talk about is being an inner city youth and being able to leave the U.S. At a young age, my teenage years, because I played for Team USA under 16. Um, my sophomore year, going into my sophomore year into high school, and that was kind of like a climax for me. That was really a turning point where I learned that not only is it's just the suburbs and the city, but it's the world. So kind of getting that worldly view at such a age that's very sponge and experimental, that played huge. And yeah, that changed my life, honestly, just as far as perspective wise, because I know as kids and I know as people in America, melanin people in America, you kind of feel strained, feeling like there's no way out. Why are you in certain predicaments? Why your family in certain predicaments and things of that such. But being able to relinquish and leave the U.S. at that time, and I was gone for literally about uh, just a little bit under 3 months. That was the time where I was kind of able to unplug and recalibrate myself. And I really kind of learned that, it's things that happen to us rather than actual decisions that we made. And that comes from, you can't choose who you're born to. You can't choose who your environment is. And then, like I said, once you get old enough to guard your own heart, then that's where you're able to kind of dictate. And I say to my kids right now, be a captain of your destination and not a victim of your location.
All
And
right, I like that.
that's something that I learned literally at 15 that kind of helped me propel into the man I am, and just kind of having that greater understanding that yeah, again, it's things that happen to us and not just choices that we made initially. So that was huge for me, and that opened me up literally no other way. Like my passport book was that's been the most influential book in my life. And I mean, like I said, I'm an avid reader, and I went through the educational system here in America. Obviously, I got degrees, got a master's, But my passport book was actually the most influential book that I've ever had.
Wow. Yeah, they say travel is educational, and most people should. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get out of America just to see what's going on in America,
Right.
like literally. And we're not talking about the 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4-day vacations. Like, nah, you need to be removed from your environment at least about a good 30 days. And it's like how many of our people have the ability to do that.
Right.
Just like say, all right, I ain't working for the month, but my job is still gonna be here, type thing. But yeah, we all need to leave the states or leave our environment for about a good 30 days just to unplug and then kind of help give you a different perspective and looking from the outside in rather than inside out.
Now, how was going over to Asia? Um, how was that for you? Going over there, you were teaching
Yeah,
over there. Okay.
yeah, and playing. Yep. So I was playing over there as well. It was great, honestly. Like I said, I played professionally in Europe. Did some stuff in Canada. But Asia definitely always will have a special place in my heart. Just because, like I said, it's just uncovering all the misnomers and just ways of knowing. Like I felt honestly the safest that I ever been as a melanin man in the world in Asia. Yeah, I mean, I can leave at 2 a.m., walk the streets, and not be bothered. Like I don't have that issue. I can, go to the market, touch things, ask things. People that don't see you a lot look at you in a more discovery view than a judgment view type thing. Like, they don't see you a lot. That interaction of just wanting to know is a little more grander than, here in the States where, it's kind of like that spider and butterfly effect. So
Okay.
yeah, that's totally remiss. Like when you go abroad, like I mean, of course, people go off what they see on TV and things of that such, but it's not as pungent um, in the states as it is, elsewhere and things of that sort. So yeah, I consider myself kind of like a world citizen for sure. I mean, I'm very appreciative to be American born. That's one thing. We do get respect on that name.
Right.
Having a U.S. passport does mean something, but again, when you travel, you just, you're a U.S. citizen and you're not black, African American, such and such, whatever misnomer and stuff that they put on you, things of that sort. So, yeah, Asia was definitely a very gratifying and it was a beautiful experience because, like I said, just the ways of traveling, the things that's over there, the sights you see, the people you run into, like there's a genuine flow in community and cultures that's actually, everyone has their misstripes, everybody has their missteps, but just that sincerity and niceness and willing to help is much more abundant abroad than I feel back here in the states, honestly. So yeah, Asia was actually great. I mean, be frank, overseas they don't even call us the United States. They call us, "Oh, you from the states," because there ain't nothing united about us over here.
Oh,
Unfortunately, yeah.
okay. Okay. All right. So you leave. Did you have like a contract or something like three
Yeah,
years? Okay.
yeah, yeah, it was actually renewal. So like I said, I was playing professionally, so I was actually on certain teams, and just in the off season, I was doing teaching and stuff over there. So,
Okay.
yeah, that worked out very well. I mean, I was able to see. I think China has about between like 23 to 27 provinces, and then they got like municipalities that kind of break from there. But I seen about like 20 of them. Yeah, I traveled to all the places, even the place where they said COVID came from and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I was there, seen a lot of things. Like I said, over in Asia, you just got a greater in depth. Like you can get to Indonesia, you get to Singapore, you get to Thailand. Much easier travel on that side. I mean, I feel it's the best beaches. I am a little biased. The best beaches are actually on that coast um,
Oh.
than what we have over here. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, I was able just to kind of move a lot, see new things, meet a lot of people, and then like I said, also drop down in Africa as well on that side because actually a lot of Africans actually get their education majority through Asia than they do elsewhere. Except if they live in like UK or something like that. But yeah, a lot of Africans actually get their education in Asia. So you just see so much from the other aspect over there. And yeah, again, it was a grand experience. Like it was unfortunate the circumstances I had to come back in. Like I said, the only reason I came back was because of the COVID, really.
Right.
Yeah, other than that, yeah, it still would have been another story.
Do you think you like to take your kids over there?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's no question mark. I mean, Daddy, I mean, I've been to literally over, I think I'm up to like about 50 countries. Like I'll be doing them a disservice to not open that window to them, and then actually just kind of preserve and let them know, like, man, you guys got options. Like,
Right.
that's the main thing, to be able to give your kids options and choices. I mean, that's what you want to do as far as parents. Not be so narrow minded or tunnel vision. Just just give them options where, okay, if things may not be going well here, other opportunities are elsewhere, and it's okay to go. Like, we have ancestors and people that made those jumps. I mean, Paul Robeson was over in Russia. W.B. Du Bois traveled the world. A lot of people, influential people, have done a lot of things abroad, and
Okay.
just came back to the states. So I definitely will be making that apparent and presenting that to my children for sure.
Okay. So before your son was born, what excited you about being a father?
Um, Again, it's just me coaching. I mean, I coach kids. I mean, I put over 200 kids in college, from like AAU programs, training. I just always kind of been around the game, like that round ball has done a lot, as far as seeing the world, making money, and networking. So, um, kind of just already played into it. I mean, that's just kind of like the patches way of manhood. It's kind of like, people looked out for you, and you had to carve out your own way, and it's your job just to give back. So always been a father role, prior before me having my own kids. So it really wasn't nothing new. It was just kind of more of a grander experience, knowing that Pacifically came from you. So it was just more grander, a little more emphasis on it. But yeah, definitely preparation was already in place.
So what activities do you do with your son and your daughter now? What do
We
you?
wrestle. I mean, yeah, we wrestle a lot. Just play, dance, listen to music. I'm a Motown baby, so yeah, we make sure we keep the eyes going. Michael Jackson's, the Marvin Gaye's, Temptations, things of that sort. So yeah, we dance and sing. Um, and yeah, any kind of balls we throw them and bounce them.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, like activity wise, yeah, we kind of get to things of that sort. Just some type of movement. Try to have what we call sail builders. You gotta move it. You gotta keep it moving before you lose it, type thing.
Okay. All right. So, what do you think is something that every dad should know about their children?
Um, Hopefully, the dad knows about himself. That's the first thing, because that's what you're able to be able to see in your children, as far as that empathy wise, being able to emphasize, just like when you was little, stuff's kind of play back to you. But just tendencies mainly. If there's ever situations where things need to be, nonverbal communication, just knowing how to pick up on things as far as the father, because we don't have the intuition as strong as you women. You guys are the closest thing to God on this earth. But just being able to pay attention to tendencies, again, being that protective and listening. Like a lot of fathers definitely should kind of pull out the listening aspect. I think it'll help in a lot of relationships as well. Just being able to listen to your children once they start coming into their own, and just kind of going through their trials and tribulations. So listening, protecting, and then picking up on tendencies for sure.
All right. What family values have you taught your daughter so far?
Uh, protect your own at all costs. It's us first, and then everyone else. Um,
Mhm.
Education starts at home first. So, you're a representation of us. So just kind of value, I mean, kind of embedding in her just that, everything that you do is kind of a reflection of your environment. So, keep a clean house, keep a clean room, um, clean mind, clean space. Um, just all kind of aspects of just trying to be as cleanly, trying to be as polite, um, try to be as listening. We got two ears and one mouth, so that's for a reason. Let's try to listen twice as much as we speak, and yeah, ask questions. Like, I mean, that's one thing we harp on here. Like I said, I'm an avid reader, so yeah, she has to read literally a book every day. Um, so that's one thing that's kind of insightful. That yeah, she likes reading because, like I said, that information is so powerful. That's something that was a law here, which is again unfortunate, but we want to make sure that we take full advantage of a reading and asking questions for sure.
What values or what qualities do you value in yourself the most?
My understanding, I think I probably got one of the most wealthiest spirits on this planet Earth. I mean, I really stand by that. If it's something that I can do, I will do. If it's something I say I'm gonna do, I will do it. So I stand real tight to that. And like I said, just that empathy and sympathy as far as like just understanding. Everybody has a story. Um, everyone's insides are kind of built and constructed the same. So understanding that it's like we're not too far off of each other. We just got different experiences and different perspectives. But yeah, I think my understanding is something that I value, and I can definitely see within myself. Because I mean, my grandma used to say it all the time, man. You can make a friend anywhere, and that's a great quality to have.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what's a lesson that you've learned the hard way that you will share with your children when they get older?
You're gonna mess up. Don't try to prevent yourself from failing. Like literally, don't prevent yourself from failing. It's greater lessons um, in those adversities than things that's given to you. And when things are all in up, it's basically how do you respond to adversity when things are not going your way. That's usually how you separate yourself as far as others, whether it's mentally, physically, or spiritually. When things not going your way, or as expected or as planned, how do you respond?
All right. So, will you be allowing them to try new things and fail at it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I welcome the failure. I mean, like I said, you can't succeed without failure. So
Okay.
I definitely welcome it. So whether it's
All right.
falling on your face, making mistakes, making wrong decisions, it's like let's not make that a habit.
Right.
We understand things happen, but there's a difference between things happening and things
Mm,
being a habit.
right. Right. So, what skills? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, that was it.
Okay. What skills do you think are most valuable in being a dad?
What skills are most valuable being a dad? Again, yeah, just having that listening ear, just listening, um, letting it kind of seep through your body a little bit. Like I said, with that listening, you want to listen twice as much as you speak, and not just being so quick as far as like a reaction or even with, giving influence. Like, you just want to be as patient as possible because you want to kind of hear things, let them simmer, let them sit, and then kind of make a corporate decision. I mean, it's a partnership at the end of the day. So you can't be a dad without the kid.
True.
So
True.
um, yeah, just kind of understanding like, yeah, that my way or the highway. I mean, those days are kind of over. So just using that wisdom and resources to try to supplement getting what you want out of the kid, but setting them up to kind of succeed or fail. And if they do fail, just having kind of like a counter to that as far as
Right.
like when things don't go that way. So um, people always say, it's chess, not checkers, but I'm actually the other way. I feel it's more of a checker approach because in life, you're never going to know what specifically all the other pieces do.
Mhm.
Never. So whether you're going into a job, whether you're going into a situation, it's no like, oh yeah, the queen can move all the way through the board. The pawn can only take. No, it don't work like that. Actually, to me, life is checkers. You better be ready to jump, or you're going to get jumped.
All right. I like that too.
at
I
all
like.
times. At all times.
All right. So when you were growing up, did your parents tell you you could come and you could tell me anything?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
So
definitely.
are you going to express that to your kids? You know, uh, with
Yeah.
me and mommy and daddy are here for you, whatever, just, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a fine line between being a trusted adult and being a friend. And I
Right,
don't play the friend zone. Like we ain't friends until we doing the same thing. When we paying bills together, we can talk about that stuff. So right now I'm a trusted adult, and that's one of the things as far as like I said, parenting. Just on my end, like I said, I can only speak for our household, but
right,
yeah, it's definitely open door policy. We want to know everything, to the Pacific, all the way from the root, all the way to the tip of the leaf. We want to know every single thing. So yeah, we definitely present that open discussion, and sometimes my daughter asks, "Are you going to get mad?" type thing, and no, not at all. I mean, Daddy can be disappointed, but no, it's not nothing that um, I can really kind of hold against you until we
right.
actually kind of get everything out, and then see how we can kind of move forward. 'Cause again, it's lessons and everything. And like I said, I want my kids to be smart and strong, but if not, you're gonna be either or. Yeah. So
All right.
yeah, definitely open door policy on that end as far as communication.
All right. So, um, when you were growing up, you had your mom and your dad. Your kids have you, and they got their granddad. So, it do they understand if they don't feel comfortable, which I probably know that you're going to make sure that they feel comfortable. You could they be told, if you don't want to tell me or you don't want to tell mom, you can tell granddaddy or grandma. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, definitely. It actually kind of goes the other way. I mean, the grandpa and grams, they actually want to look forward. The kids actually want to tell us. Well, like I said, Kobe, my oldest, she's doing, like I said, all the talking really. But yeah, Rack Daddy, he knows my voice, and Kobe actually, she'll come back and tell us what Grandpa and Graham said. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so they actually look at us as outlets. I mean, Kobe comes back and tell us about her friends and all of that sort. Like she talks to me and mommy first before she even talks to
Okay.
the grands or anything like that. But yeah, we had that open door. Whatever aspect someone feel they need to get that communication out, we always there for.
Okay. So when she gets old enough to get a cell phone and go on social media, have you thought about the advice you're gonna tell her about using social media and you know, uh, what is it? Peer
Her.
pressure, bullying, and all that kind of stuff. Have you thought of what you would say to her, or
Well, we actually right in it. Like, I mean, you gotta remember these kids are born in technology. So yeah, she knows how to work the iPhone. She works the iPad. She's watching things, and then kids teach kids. So
okay?
yeah, we already in that formality of with the bullying and what to say, words and things. Because like I said, these kids have so much access and stuff. So
Yeah,
from the cursing to the knowing what's what, they already right in line. Unfortunately, at 7, 8 years old, they're already in it. Like I said, it's only
Does she have a cell phone?
no, she doesn't have a cell phone, but classmates of hers does.
Right, right,
Like I said, she's capable and she knows how to work the phone though. Like we do all
right.
that education and stuff at home. If anything is needed. So yeah, we already talk about the peer pressures and not following what others do, and it's okay to be different. Kind of trust in yourself. Don't ever feel like you need to please others type things. Yeah, we have those conversing's a lot. It's something that just kind of have to be reminded, where something that she'll just remember when we're not around.
Have you thought about getting her a car when she gets to high school? She's like 16 years old. Have you thought that far ahead?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, I'm that. I mean, I ain't gonna say cool or hot dad, but yeah, I'm that one that yeah, everything that other people have, like we're not gonna have you like without or anything like that. So you'll definitely be around that community, or at least educated what's going on. You're gonna at least know how to drive, and you're gonna at least know what to do in situations, and we have protocols and procedures put in place for sure. But honestly, I mean, quiet is kept, and I mean, I speak it into existence. mean, my daughter won't be in American high school, like literally. Yeah, I'm kind of like I said, looking to have the kids kind of go abroad, and then yeah, college is fun here in the states. And we can prevent all those other measurements that you have to go through, where you actually able to learn things, pick up other languages, pick up other cultures, and dictate. Then I think you would be much more formidable when she does decide to make decisions on her own, because they just have such that worldly view. So yeah, I'm actually on the countdown here in the states. Honestly, like I said,
Okay.
we put into existence.
All right. Did you have a car when you were in high school? Did
Oh
you
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
okay?
got some wheels. Yeah, if I have
Did
some
you have
wheels.
did you have to pay for your own gas?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah. I was
Okay.
held responsible, but I mean, I had to do things to get from the family, so that was the thing. I mean, yeah, it wasn't nothing just here you go type thing. It's like, yeah,
Oh,
you got to get some stuff done.
okay.
Definitely got to get some stuff done. But yeah, no,
So
I had the car stuff.
so you had a job in high school to help pay for the gas?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah, we did some things that made some money. Yeah, I mean, I beat a
Oh,
few people in 101s.
oh,
In the streets a little bit. Because I grew up in the King homes. I grew up in the East Side and stuff like that. So yeah, we had a lot of activities that was going on. Yeah.
okay. So is Kobe, do you think well, she probably won't be here because I was gonna say, you think you're gonna let her get a job in high school to, you know,
Yeah, like I said, I mean, if not, I mean, if we are here, yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, they go through responsibility and learning.
okay,
It's just learning the process. All that stuff is really just learning the system. So, yeah, I'm never gonna weary her off that. Yeah, that's always gonna be something, that knowing how the system goes, knowing what taxes is, how people work in the states, certain time people works and stuff like that. So yeah, she'll definitely be at least abreast of her situation and environment for sure.
man. So what kind of financial advice are you gonna give her?
Financially, main thing is it's like, don't spend what you don't have.
Makes
That's
sense.
number one rule right there. Don't spend what you don't have. And then just kind of giving her a few resources to understand, different ways of things coming in, like, got a little investment account for her, things of that sort. Just seeing how money can grow. It's more than just a bank. um, just other aspects as far as, like, money flows. It's like water, like it has to be in
Right.
constant motion. Like, this ain't it's not no drop down from the airplane and that's it. Like, nah, it's like water, so it's gonna be going in and out at all times. You just want to make sure you got more coming in than going out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with all of these jobs and all these activities that you do, how do you relax?
um Basketball, even though it takes up a lot of my time, that actually is my mental health relaxation. Like, being able to be in the gym, kind of play back memories, being by myself, putting up shots and stuff like that. It's kind of like my sanctuary on that end.
Okay.
Um, and then also just reading. Like I said, when I go into read and stuff like that, it kind of helps um, penetrate my mind and kind of take me in the direction of, seeing what the reader is reading, or what's the time and element and things. That's another thing too. Like, I'm very huge into documentaries and his and her story when it comes to things and reading. So yeah, reading and sports is kind of what my outlet is, as far as, like, in the mental health aspect. And then again, just that greater understanding, knowing that it's just more than what's around me type thing. So I'm also at peace with that too, knowing that, as many things these eyes have seen and these feet and grounds that it's walked on, I'm able to kind of have that tranquility, as far as just knowing that there's more.
Okay. So what's your favorite thing about Kobe and Jay Z? Do you have a favorite thing about them yet?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Kobe is just her willingness to learn. That's a beauty. Just that thirst to learn. Want to know what's going on. How can she do it? Type thing. And Jay Z for sure is just his innocent energy. Like, he just has, when he wakes up every morning, he's gonna come with the smiles, and he's gonna come with, his little tendencies and stuff like that. So just his energy alone is something that sits out. I mean, that's a 2-year old. Everybody talk about the terrible twos, and he's in this in this no phase right now. So he just says no to everything, not really knowing what he's saying. But yeah, I mean, he does know what he's saying, but that's just kind of his thing right now. No, like, you want to eat? No. You want to do it? No. Like, but he do eat and he do know what's going on. But yeah, just that defiant. He's in that defiant mode right now, being a 2-year-old and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but his energy is what's something that definitely sticks out because the elders that we have in the home as well. It kind of keeps them flowing and kind of keeps them going for sure.
Okay. All right. So, how do you show love to your children?
Um, I kind of go off with love and understanding. I don't ever kind of section love off because, in my eyes, love has different dynamics. Like what may look like love to me is going to look like love to someone else. A lot of people kind of get that misconstrued because your love is never going to look the same as someone else. But understanding, that's something it's a peak, and you can tell if someone understands something.
Okay.
With them, my L and U with them is just showing up, um, being just a positive energy, but also kind of letting them know the difference between like hot and cold. Like, when daddy's upset, let them know how I feel about it. Why I'm disappointed. Like, it's not too much more of, reprimanding or punishing or anything like that. It's just kind of like, I want you to understand, like, I'm counting on you just as much as you're counting on me. Like, I mean, you're going to get older and I'm going to get older. So, we want to make sure that you understand that you are important. So those levels are just time spending and again listening, because that's all they really want to do is just talk and see things. They don't have like the totality as far as like knowing what's going on, but just time spending. So if it comes to just wrestling with my son, tickling him, to just hearing him all day, um, watching Bluey and Elmo with him, sitting there just rolling up on that, to my daughter, she's into the Black Panther and Wakanda. Just being there and sharing time, like that's really what it is. It's just time. Like that's how you show your love and understanding, by just exerting yourself with time, because that's really the only thing we do things for. Whether it's monetary or try to gain experiences. You want more time in those experiences. You want to make more money to get time to do what you want to do. So
Right.
yeah, it's mainly just time. That's how I show my L and U, my love and understanding.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a quick break. So, stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back. Real Dad Speak. Don't go anywhere.
My name is Sean Williams, and I am the founder and president of the Dad Gang Incorporated. The Dad Gang is a support group for Black fathers, and we are on a mission to change the way the world views Black dads.
I do agree there's a misconception about Black parenting and Black fathers.
Welcome back, everybody. Real Dad Speak. We're talking with Jason Baker. He is a coach, an NCAA referee, a husband, and a dad of 2. So now, Jason, we've come to the part of the show called the Final 5. And that's the part where I ask you a question or a fill in the blank. So, number 1, what do you think all children need from their father?
Time.
All right. Number 2, as a dad of a girl and a boy, can you think of a specific lesson that you will teach your daughter and one that you will teach your son?
Things are different, but it doesn't mean that the repercussion and the reward is different.
Okay. All right. Number 3, what's the best advice your dad ever gave you?
Don't nobody care about you.
Okay. All right. What's one important lesson that fatherhood has taught you?
It's an ongoing battle. It's infinite. One of the main quotes that I kind of live by is from one of my frat brothers, Alpha Phi Alpha, Fraternity Incorporated, Burton Tandy. He said, we'll fight until hell freezes over. And even when it freezes over, we'll fight on ice.
Okay, I like that. All right. Last one, number 5. Fill in this blank. My wife would use these 3 words to describe me as a dad. Blank, blank, and blank.
Fun, unpredictable, and protective.
All right. I like those. Well, thank you, sir, for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys as well. Hope all that listen.
Yeah, thanks for sharing your stories, man. You got a lot going on, but if anybody can do it, you can.
Appreciate it. Can't do it without you guys, the community and the love. And I appreciate everyone who's listening. Appreciate you. And again, like I said, we just want to push the needle forward.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching Real Dad Speak. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Absolutely. And if you want, you can comment below. We will see you next week. A new episode uploads on YouTube every Tuesday at 7 p.m. So be sure to watch. Thanks again.